Hey, Alan Lott here. Hey, I wanted to make a couple of comments and try and quantify the comments or qualify them anyway. Not quantify them, but here's the thing. The other day I was listening to a podcast and it was talking about as we grow old, we have this dream that we want to just shut down and just kind of sit there and vegetate and sleep and take naps and everything. And I honestly thought that retirement would be like that. Like once you get done, you just don't want to do anything and you just sit back in a recliner and life goes on and you're just happy to be able to relax. And that's simply not true. I'm going to tell you flat out it's not true. Here I found myself with a lot more time on my hands than I ever had in my life. And so what do I do? You know, in sign language, it's like this. What do I do? What do you do? So here's the thing is that I think Joe Rogan said it. He said that you got to find something to do. Everyone needs a hobby. Everybody needs something to do. And you need to take that desire later on in life. Now, if you're a young guy and you work your whole life and you find yourself in your late 60s, early 70s, and now you find yourself with all that time in the space and so now you're going to, hey, you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go rock climbing. Okay, well, that's great, but let's face it, most people body, if you've lived a rough life, is not going to be able to support that kind of lifestyle, right? So with me, working, over 20 years in the Marine Corps and over 15 years or around 15 years in the police department, it took its toll on my body. My body's beat down. Now, I still like to go to the gym because, let's face it, going to the gym is something that I've done my whole life, so why stop now, right? But it's great to get a hobby. And you got to have something because you can't take your money with you. If you've acquired money, wealth, and everything like that, and you've raised your kids to actually fend for themselves, save for themselves and everything, let's face it, you can leave them a couple $100, $1,000 or whatever, and they're fine with that. They're just going to miss you more than anything. It's those kids that was born with a silver spoon in their mouth that lived on their parents' coattails for their whole life, and then when dad dies or mom dies, oh, my inheritance coming through, what am I going to do? And the first thing you talk to these people, at least in my life and experience, is that it's not about investing or buying businesses. It's about, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to party, and you know what? I really do not believe that most parents that leave that kind of wealth to their children after they die really anticipates them or leaves it for the purpose of going and partying. So here's the thing is that I agree that you need something. Now, I keep myself pretty active. During hunting season, I go out to hunt. I don't climb the tallest hill anymore, and I don't crawl down to the lowest valley anymore. But I like to hunt, and most of the time when I go out there, sometimes I'll get on a hilltop and I take pictures. So I have a lot of scenery pictures. That's something I really enjoy doing. And I enjoy hiking. I just can't hike as far as I did when I was in the Marine Corps, but I am still somewhat active, and I have a part-time job to keep me busy, fill in those little gaps and stuff. My suggestion to you, as the purpose of this video, is try not to make that thing your God. All right, so here's the thing. Spiritual, we have God. If you're Christian, you have God, whatever. Everybody, that's not the God I'm talking about. Now, and I'm telling you that sometimes people invest so much in their hobby that hobby becomes the responsibility / God, right? So people like, for instance, people who buy motorcycles, for instance, I'm going to use motorcycles, and they're going to say, and I'm going to tell you straight up, there is a distinct personality for people who buy Harleys and ride Harleys. And I think most people will agree with me that there is a very specific personality that does that. And that they will not be seen on another bike. And when I rode with a bunch of guys, and we would do these officer down memorial rides and stuff like that, I had a Honda. I had a Honda Shadow. I had a 100-yard rule. I could not ride. Even as cops, they said, don't ride next to me. I don't want that sewing machine next to me. I mean, it was crazy, but that's the way it was. But don't make your hobby your God. People have gods. We as human beings, we make our own gods. And if you're not Christian, if you're atheist, you still make your own God. And some people believe that they are their own God. And I'm talking about anything from cars to homes to bank accounts to whatever. It is their God. This is what and I'm saying be very, very, very careful about not making that thing your God. Because, I always joke that, when I'm done, my 4-wheel drive, when I'm dead, just put me in the seat, strap me up there, and drive that thing into my grave and just fill us both up with dirt. And that way I can have my truck. Man, we're not in the Viking years. We don't believe that. And I say that as a joke. Cremate me, sell everything that makes money, and you guys distribute it amongst the kids and have at it. You guys spend it however way you want to. That's my thing. I don't want funerals. I don't want people standing up there and saying homage to me, but I really, really enjoy going on the outdoors, and if I'm not careful, I could spend a lot of money on those, and you get no return on that investment. If I get into archery hunting and I have 14 bows, archery season is very short throughout the year, and if I'm not competing or shooting the bows every year or every day, then it's an issue. But you got to have a hobby. You got to have something you enjoy, whether it be remote control cars, trains, like electric trains, going on vacations, sometimes that's people's hobby, archery, hiking, something physical, sitting here licking stamps, putting them in a book. That's a nice hobby. But let's face it, while you're doing that, eating French fries and pizza, pretty soon you're going to be, bigger than you want to be. And your hobby's going to be, trying to avoid your depression. So, get a hobby. Get a good hobby. Get something to do that monopolizes your time and something that you look forward to doing, something that makes you feel good, something that kind of calms you. And when it starts getting frustrated, then walk away from it. I like to build things with wood. And sometimes if 2 pieces of wood aren't going together the way I want them to go, no matter what I do, I start getting frustrated, and I enjoy working with old, thrown out wood. And when you work with old, thrown out wood, you work with uneven surfaces. And when it starts frustrating me, I have a rule. I will get frustrated once. After the second time, I put the tools away and I walk away from it. And I think about something else. That's my advice to you. Don't let your hobbies be your God. Don't let anything in life reach that apex to where you have some kind of emotional worship on it. That's my suggestion. But get something you really, really like to do and then share it. Share it. If you like woodworking, make something cool and give it to somebody. Yeah. If you like something, share it. But be careful of those gods that we create for ourselves. Alan Lott out.